What's up guys, this is Anime Crossover. I'm back with a new episode of What If Naruto Was the Red Flash in TC Part 24. And if you did enjoy the video, give this video a like, and if you're new to my channel and like my content, subscribe and hit the notification bell for my crossover fictions with a twist. Now let's begin this new video.
The next morning, Kara met Naruto for breakfast at Kara's favorite restaurant, Noonan's, to sample the sticky buns she mentioned before, and Naruto was open to any opportunity to eat. Naruto ate the first bite and promptly ordered another for himself and Kara. It was amazing. "Oh my god, I can't believe this doesn't exist on my planet," Naruto exclaimed as he finished his sticky bun and sipped his coffee. "Well, I guess that's one advantage my planet has over yours," Kara said, leading Naruto to laugh. She completed her sticky bun as the waitress approached with fresh sticky buns and empty plates. Thank you. "How do you eat sticky buns for breakfast every day and stay so thin?" inquired the waitress. Kara laughed as she quipped, "I'm an alien." She had just departed when Alex arrived. "Hey, it looks like you're feeling better," he replied, nodding. "Yeah, that medicine you gave me sure worked," Alex stated as he sat down with them. "Kara, are you alright? I called you several times last night. Where were you?" "I think I fell asleep last night. Yesterday was a long day," Kara explained as she broke up her sticky bun. "Morning. Hey," Jimmy said as he approached with a coffee cup. "Hey," Kara said, her cheeks flushed as she adjusted her spectacles. What exactly are you doing here?" "Oh, this is the only place that makes this really difficult to find drink I like, tea," Jimmy said as Kara laughed as Alex and Naruto exchanged glances. Kara observed the glances she was getting and said, "That's really funny. That's funny. You remember James Olsen, my coworker, and James, you remember Naruto. How's the covert alien hunting business?" James asked in hushed tones. "Not as covert as we would prefer," Alex said, but Kara pretended to be unconcerned. Kara explained, "I didn't tell him. Look, it's all right. I can be trusted with a big secret," James assured her. "Well, I hope you'll do the same for my sister," Alex responded. "Always," James said, nodding as he gazed at Kara. "Can we meet back at the office?" "Yeah. Nice to see you, Alex," James said as Kara returned to her meal, noticing the glare Alex and Naruto were giving her. "What?" Kara inquired. Alex smiled as he said, "You like Jimmy Olsen." "Stop it. First and foremost, he prefers James," Kara said as Alex and Naruto pretended to nod. "Second, we're just friends." "Sure. And the blush on your face, messing with your glasses, and laughter was to fool us or him?" Naruto inquired as Kara continued to eat. "Yeah, and this is just a friend who happened to be at the same place we're eating because he can't find tea anywhere else in the entire city. He likes you too, and you were looking at him like he was a sticky bun." Naruto is correct, and seriously, Kara, you need to stop telling people who you really are. The less people know about Supergirl, the better, Alex said, and Kara reluctantly agreed when the television shifted to breaking news. In a shocking news item today, Cat Grant, CEO of Catco Media, is reporting that Supergirl and Superman are in fact related, the newscaster said, boldly stating, "Supergirl and Superman are cousins." "Oh boy, too late for that now," Naruto muttered, looking at Kara. While Kara ate her sticky bun, she could feel the headaches coming on. Kara quickly left and arrived at Catco with Kat's customary breakfast order, only to notice that the only thing anyone seemed to be talking about or seeing on TV was the fact that Supergirl and Superman are cousins. She walked over to her desk while Winn looked at her. "Ah, interesting choice, mentioning that in an interview. Isn't that a little risky?" Winn inquired. "I didn't mean to. I was confused and it just popped out," she admitted, looking at Kat. She duped me. She's like a villain. A super interviewing villain." Winn told her, "That is literally the most boring power ever." "Kara," Kat exclaimed when Kara entered Kat's office with her coffee and muffin. "Good morning, Ms. Grant," Kara said as she came up to her desk and set her coffee down. "It's a big day for journalism," Kat said, turning around in her chair. "I scooped it, and the Daily Planet can suck it." "Yes, I heard. You told everyone that Supergirl and Superman are cousins. Do you think she might have wanted to keep that a secret?" Kara mused. "Bulletproof," Kat said, straightening Kara. You asked if I'm bulletproof. Bulletproof coffee. It's made from unsalted grass-fed butter with an extract of coconut oil that improved brain energy. I'll need a cup of it every hour." Crappy coffee has toxins in it that will rob me of my creativity and vigor. I'm going to need both. Kat took her muffin and threw it away. If I'm going to write a badass Supergirl exposé. You're writing it? By yourself? Kara was taken aback. I'm a writer. It's like riding a bike or dealing with severe childhood trauma. You never really lose it, and I must be pretty good at it because. Kat motioned around her to the stack of monitors on the wall and her accomplishments. The day after tomorrow, we will be publishing a special issue of our monthly magazine that will make that Caitlyn Jenner Vanity Fair look like a penny saver pullout. We need a big party to launch it. Throw something together. 1,000 guests. Rent out a museum or something. Kat remarked as Kara glanced at Dave and his curly red hair. She set to work on the event, gathering everything she would need to complete it in 2 days. Later, she went to the Deo, where director Henshaw was not pleased with the news of her and Superman's connection. Have you lost your mind? What were you thinking by giving interviews? I wouldn't call it an interview, it was more of a private conversation that was published, Kara responded. What's next? A book deal? A reality show? Keeping up with the Kryptonians? Henshaw pondered as he strolled over to the monitors to go to work, in a nasty mood as Alex and Naruto approached. Wow, he's pissed, but to be honest, I'd watch a Kryptonian reality show, Naruto stated as Kara and Alex glanced at him strangely. What do you mean? It'd be 10 times more interesting than anything on TV right now. Kara, why did you do that interview? Alex inquired, genuinely curious as to why she chose to expose herself. Initially, I did it for James, Kara explained as Alex sighed. Of course, you did. But I also did it for myself, Kara explained. I'm still trying to figure out what Supergirl means, and I guess I just thought talking to Ms. Grant would give me some perspective. Everyone wonders who they are at some point in their lives, Alex said. You're gonna figure it out, Kara. You always have. She's right. And if I can offer some advice as someone who has a partner who has almost identical abilities, don't dwell on what makes you the same or that you're constantly compared to each other. Focus on what makes you unique, Naruto suggested, and Kara grinned. And maybe hire a publicist. That would have really helped me when I first started out. When an alarm went off, Kara and Alex laughed. Sir, we have a code gray, Vasquez said, pulling up the monitors. It's coming from the NCH. She displayed satellite photographs, which revealed a highway accident. It appears to be a multiple car collision, Alex remarked. Highway patrol officers and medical personnel are on their way. No sign of alien activity. We're clear, Vasquez said as Kara tapped Naruto on the shoulder and he nodded. Run a thermal scan just to be sure, and Ms. Danvers, the next time you feel compelled to speak to the press. Henshaw came to a halt when he noticed Kara and Naruto had vanished. He looked across at Alex, who simply shrugged. She's excited because it's her first pile-up, Alex said with a grin. Supergirl and Impulse traveled from the Deo base in the desert to the roadway where the tragedy occurred. Supergirl flew in the air as Impulse sped over the ground, and they heard sirens and saw lights flashing in the distance. They quickly arrived on the highway and witnessed the aftermath of the vehicle accident. While Impulse went over to nearby cars to assist the drivers and passengers, Supergirl landed near a tipped-over bus and assisted the driver. She flew the driver out and placed her on a gurney while the EMTs examined her. When she was suddenly blasted by some kind of energy blast, the driver thanked Supergirl. She rolled on the ground as the terrified crowd fled. Impulse looked over and observed a metal-armored person land on the highway, as well as the glowing energy core on the chest armor. Impulse put on his goggles and turned on the scanner. Gideon, please scan the subject. Scan begins, she said as his goggles examined the armor and the energy core. Who are you? Exclaimed Supergirl. I'm just a ghost, said the man. What do you want? Supergirl inquired, as the man moved forward a few paces. I want the Man of Steel to suffer. I want him to know what it's like to lose everything. Beginning with you, he said as he raised his arm and fired an energy blast from his gauntlet, knocking Supergirl into a car. Impulse assisted the last stranded villagers by escorting them to a safe distance. Get to safety. Go. He yelled as they bolted for nearby police officers, who led them to safety. He looked around to see Supergirl battling their unknown adversary. She kicked him back, sending him sprawling across the ground, but he recovered swiftly and shot more energy bolts at her, knocking her back. When he was about to launch a barrage of energy bolts with his gauntlets, he was hit with a small vial and enclosed in a blob of cement, limiting his movement. Impulse ran over to assist Supergirl in getting back to her feet. Hey, are you all right? he said as she nodded, sighing slightly in discomfort. This guy packs a punch, she remarked, massaging her stomach. Those energy blasts stung, although she was supposed to be immune to almost any type of man-made weapon. Their assailant wrenched himself free of the concrete and fired another blast at the two heroes, but Impulse and Supergirl were able to avoid it. Impulse and Supergirl ran around the assailant, disorienting and distracting him with lightning and wind. The lightning, super blur circle that had formed around the attacker continued to constrict, and powerful punches began to land all over him. Punch to the back, arm, leg, and face, then repeat, and repeat. The attacker growled angrily as he thrust out his arms in an attempt to hit Supergirl and the mysterious speedster, but all he got was air. As he continued to get pounded, he began firing energy blast after energy blast, with the same outcome. Supergirl and Impulse then came to a halt in front of their assailant and punched him in the chest, causing him to crash into a parked car. The attacker rose to his feet and attempted to fire an energy blast from his gauntlets, but the energy core on his chest had been destroyed, and the energy feedback was preventing his gauntlets from working. The assailant looked at Supergirl before fleeing as quickly as he could. The bad guys always managed to flee during the first fight, Impulse observed. Supergirl and Impulse returned to the Deo, where Director Henshaw had some information on their strange assault. Reactron. At least, that's what the Daily Planet dubbed him when he showed up in Metropolis a few years ago, Henshaw explained as the monitors displayed information about Reactron such as his armor, weapons, and prior attacks. Reactron, that's a stupid name. Who gave him that? Kara inquired. Henshaw said, Jimmy Olsen. Oh. Kara wished she hadn't said that as Naruto and Alex laughed. So, who is Reactron underneath that mask? Naruto inquired. Unknown. He's still at large after a series of very public fights with Superman, in which neither of them ever won, and no one knows why he's so obsessed with killing Superman, Henshaw revealed. Naruto examined the data on the weapons and discovered that Reactron was powered by nuclear energy. So, what's the plan? Kara inquired as Henshaw gave her a sidelong glance. How do we put a stop to him? Henshaw told her, we don't. So, what are you saying? We just sit back and do nothing? Kara inquired. Reactron, whoever he is human, which means this case falls outside the DEO's jurisdiction, Henshaw stated, while Kara scoffed. How is flying around and shooting nuclear fireballs not abnormal? He's using advanced biomedical technology, which is man-made, Alex explained. I can't risk exposing this organization every time a human criminal shows up in National City, Henshaw said as he approached her to file some papers. And I just can't let this man loose, Kara explained. Call your cousin. Superman fights for truth, justice, and the American way, and National City was in America last time I checked, Henshaw said, putting the matter to rest. As Naruto approached Kara, he departed to file the paperwork. Hey, you'll find the guy, Kara. Why don't you go back to Catco and I'll find a lead to find him, said Naruto. Thank you, Naruto, Kara said as she dashed back to National City. Do you mind if I use your lab? Naruto inquired as Alex shook his head. By all means, but do you know what you're doing? Alex questioned, smiling. Of course. Finding another supervillain is just another day at the office, Naruto replied as he dashed to the lab to begin his search for Reactron. Kara returned to Catco and began planning the celebration that Ms. Grant had requested for the release of her Supergirl issue. Cat Grant was working on her exposé when she became distracted by a strange buzzing noise. Kara entered Kat's office carrying a list of stuff she needed to go over with Ms. Grant for her party. Ms. Grant, Kara cried out as she noticed Kat staring up at the ceiling. I'm putting the finishing touches on that party, and I need your approval on. Shesh. Do you hear that? Kat inquired as Kara gazed up at the ceiling, hearing nothing. No, Kara said. You don't hear that loud, high-pitched, incessant humming coming from the vents, which is making it impossible for me to think straight, let alone string together one coherent sentence. Kat questioned, exasperated. I have pretty good ears, and I'm not hearing anything, Kara responded. Well, get maintenance to look into it because it's driving me insane, Kat said as she attempted to return to work. Sure thing, I'll get them on it right away, Kara said, adding it to her to-do list. I just need you to approve the appetizers for tomorrow. Kara, I am very proud of the fact that I have never thrown a phone at an assistant in my many years as a CEO, and I would very much like to keep that record intact, Kat threatened. I'll take care of it, Kara said as she exited Kat's office, feeling as if she had just fought Reactron again. She's pretty tense working on that article, huh? James inquired. Does she always get this way when she's writing? People have been known to plan their vacations around it, Kara explained. When they heard Winn pissed at them like he was trying to get their attention, James laughed. What are you doing? What are you doing? We're right here. Follow me and act naturally, he encouraged them. Winn ran to the elevator, but James and Kara were as calm as they could be. They rode the elevator to the next floor, where there were thankfully no other people. Kara inquired, Where are you taking us? Winn answered, To your new office. Kara told him, I think Ms. Grant prefers me to be within yelling distance. Oh, no, not for that job. For our other job, Winn said, unlocking the door and letting them in to see a makeshift superhero lair with an expensive computer setup. Now, we can't just crowd around your desk every time we want to talk Supergirl, so I stocked this office with some cutting-edge technology. Winn, I can't believe you did all of this for me, Kara exclaimed, shocked and thankful. Believe it. Winn sat down at the main computer. Alright, so this is our first mission, Supergirl versus Reactron. Okay, so his true identity remains a mystery, right? Winn asked, as Kara agreed. I was there, James said. How could I forget? Anyway, he shoots these highly concentrated bursts of nuclear energy from his gauntlets. His chest plate provides an increase in strength and flight. Winn was irritated that James kept interrupting him while moving forward. Now, I've written an algorithm that will sweep the city for any variable changes in radiation, and maybe we can use this to find him. And then what? Questioned James. And then Kara goes all Supergirl on him, Winn said, certain that Kara could handle it, as did she, but James was more hesitant. He drew her to the side to speak with her. Kara, you should call your cousin on this one, he recommended. I've seen what Reactron can do. If I call for help now, James, I'm done. We're done. Every villain out there will think of National City as an easy target, Kara warned. James told her, he nearly killed Clark once. Clark? Winn inquired, turning to face them. James simply shrugged his shoulders as Kara moaned. Clark? Is Clark Kent Superman? James cleared his throat and turned to face Kara. I'm just trying to keep you safe. And yes, I appreciate that, but safety is not one of the things the S stands for, Kara said him. Clark Kent is Superman, Winn exclaimed, still reeling from the news. Winn, Kara said to get him to stop. I'm still trying to figure out what it means to be Supergirl, who I am. And now I know. I'm not Superman's cousin, I'm Supergirl, and if I'm going to be defined, it'll be by my victories and losses, and no one else's. I guess it runs in the family, James added. XXXXX line break. They hadn't yet located Reactron, but he was keeping himself occupied. He had kidnapped Maxwell Lord, a local computing whiz, and there had been no sight of him in the last 24 hours. Kara feels accountable for that, and considering she's been busy assisting with Ms. Grant's release party, she had a lot on her plate. While juggling all of the party preparations, she was watching the news about Maxwell Lord. Yes, I'm still here. Yes, Ms. Grant wants all the hostesses dressed as Supergirl. Right, red and blue with the S thank you. She hung up, relieved that it was all over, but she had greater concerns. Hey, Kara, this isn't on you, Winn said. I need to find this man. How am I supposed to do it? Kara wondered. With a little help from a friend, Naruto said as he approached them. Do you have somewhere we can talk out of sight of prying eyes? Kara cast a glance over at Winn, who smiled. Do we ever? Naruto was taken to their tiny secret room by Winn, James, and Kara. Not bad, Naruto commented as he sat down at the computer and plugged in his phone to upload the info he discovered. After our fight on the highway, I did some research and believe I discovered who Reactron is. My suit analyzed the energy Reactron used, and the power source came back as thorium-232. There is only one place on this planet where thorium-232 was used as nuclear fuel, and that was at the Bakerline nuclear power station. I remember this. Terrorists tried to start a full-fledged meltdown about 5 years ago, Winn recalled. But then Superman intervened, James continued. According to the reports, he managed to prevent the core from overloading and saved millions of people except for two. A married couple, Ben and Alyssa Krull, who were killed when the facility was flooded with radiation. Naruto said, bringing up their pictures and then isolating Ben Krull before digitally adding Reactron's mask, and it was him. Kara explained, Ben Krull is Reactron. Yeah, I'm not sure, but he survived the radiation exposure. 1 in a million lucky shot, Naruto explained. That's why he despises my cousin, he blames him for his wife's death, Kara explained. However, Superman was still able to prevent an American Chernobyl, James pointed out. When you lose a loved one, vengeance narrows your mind until nothing else matters, Naruto explained, speaking from first-hand experience. I've got a tracking algorithm set up that will scan the city using the Deo satellites, hopefully leading us to Krull. When we find him, I've got your back, Kara. Thank you, Naruto, Kara said. I have to get back to work. Please notify me when you find him. Kara hurried out the door since she needed to finish the job for Ms. Grant's party. She seems to be carrying a lot today. Is she okay? Naruto inquired. She's just overworked. Ms. Grant put a lot of pressure on her today to set up a party for a new issue, James explained. When Naruto had an idea, he said, geez, she must have a lot on her plate. Winn, do you think you can get him a copy of the things she needs to get done today? Sure, but why? He inquired, and Naruto shrugged. Well, I figured Kara Danvers could use some superpowered assistance in her regular life, and I've always been known to be a quick worker, Naruto explained. Winn grinned and instantly emailed him the list. He read it over and began ticking off everything on the list at breakneck pace, with Kara completely unaware. Kara was upstairs, having just finished proofreading Ms. Grant's article and walking into her office to speak with her. Ms. Grant was eating lunch on her couch when she noticed Kara walk in with her piece. Kara stated, I finished proofing the Supergirl article. Please begin my compliments, Kat said with a smile as Kara struggled to find the right words. Well, the writing is beautiful. Lyrical. It's the kind of writing you'd be forced to read in journalism school, Kara said. I detected a slight uptick in your voice, which suggests hesitation, vacillation, and maybe ambivalence, Kat inquired. Isn't the tone kind of? Kara saw Kat's expression and decided to say it. A little nasty? I mean, the headline. Okay. Millennial Falcon. Every generation deserves a superhero. Supergirl didn't tell you how old she is. How do you know she's a millennial? Well, if she isn't, I'd like to know who her surgeon is, Kat replied as she sipped her champagne. How about this passage? Supergirl embodies the worst traits of her generation. Earnestness without purpose, an unwavering belief that she has a right to be heard even when she has nothing to say, Kara read while Kat mouthed the words. That is a fantastic point, Kat said. I transcribed your interview. She isn't like this. You've taken her out of context, Kara explained. I'm sorry to break it to you, but the world is tough. What will she do when she faces a real threat? Oh, I know, she'll call her cousin. Just like every other millennial who calls mommy and daddy when things don't go their way, Kat explained. Kara stated, she won't do that. How do you know that? Kat wondered. I think what she's trying to say is that when people are scared, hurt, or in danger, they think of Superman, but it's also okay to think of her, and not just as a consolation prize. She is every bit the hero he is. She just needs the chance to prove it, Kara added. Well, I guess we'll find out, Kat said as the door opened and James entered. Sorry to interrupt, Kara, James murmured, and she gave him a puzzled look. For the party. Right. I should probably handle that. Kara left the office, and they could converse once they were outside of Kat's door. Naruto's algorithm found Krull, and it picked him up at a junkyard 60 miles away, he explained, handing her the address. Alright, tell Ms. Grant I'm finishing up her party, Kara said as she walked to the door, but James stopped her. Kara, just get Lord out of there, you don't have to fight Krull, he said. Krull isn't some crazed alien, he's a human being who has been hurt enough, Kara explained. That's something my cousin never knew, and that's why I'm going to talk to him the way I'd want someone to talk to me. And what if he doesn't want to talk? James inquired. Then I'll punch him really hard until he falls down. That always seems to work, Kara remarked as she dashed out the door and flew to the junkyard. James dashed over to the spar room where Naruto and Winn were finishing up the remaining details for Ms. Grant's party. James, what's wrong? Naruto inquired. Your algorithm found Krull. Kara is on her way over there right now, he said. Okay, I got her back, Naruto remarked, setting his belongings down and walking to the door when James stopped him. Naruto, be careful. Reactron is not to be trifled with, James cautioned. Don't worry, I've got the Girl of Steel as backup, Naruto replied as he supersped away, leaving no one in the dark. James was still concerned, so he opened his watch to expose a high-tech beacon emblazoned with the Super S emblem. He squeezed it, hoping backup would arrive in time. When Supergirl arrived to the junkyard and liberated Lord, Reactron attacked her unexpectedly. Lord dashed for it as Impulse approached. "Where's Supergirl?" he inquired. Lord informed him, "Over there. Reactron's with her." Impulse nodded and reached for Lord's shoulder. "Keep your head still." He rushed away with Lord in tow and arrived at the police station, where he instantly puked. "Sorry, dude." When Impulse arrived at the junkyard and saw Reactron zapping Supergirl with nuclear energy blasts, he supersped forward and shot a lightning bolt at him. The bolt knocked Reactron away, allowing Impulse to inspect Supergirl. Supergirl, he examined her and noticed she was in a lot of pain, drifting in and out of consciousness. When Superman arrived and shielded Reactron, he launched a nuclear energy bolt towards Impulse. Superman gritted his teeth while shielding the speedster from the energy. Impulse stood up and super whirled his arms in circles, unleashing wind funnels that pushed Reactron back, but he sank his boots into the ground and skidded to a halt. When Superman breathed in and utilized his super breath to add to the wind funnel, Reactron flew away like a home run baseball. Naruto knelt to check on Kara, who was unconscious but breathing. Probably due to the agony of the conflict. "Is she okay?" Superman inquired. "Yeah, Kara's fine. She was just knocked out," Naruto said as he stood up and got his first decent glimpse at Superman. "So, you're the Man of Steel?" "That's who I am. Superman, it's nice to meet you." Superman shook Naruto's hand, and Naruto shook back. "Given that you called her Kara, do you know who she is?" "Yeah, we're friends. My name is Naruto." "So, no one recognizes Clark Kent as Superman just because of the glasses?" Naruto said, and Superman was perplexed as to how he knew. "Wasn't that difficult to figure out, and James may have slipped up and told someone who accidentally told me, but don't worry, the secret is safe with me." "Thank you. Are you the so-called Blur?" Clark said, causing Naruto to moan. "Ugh, I hate that it's sticking," Naruto remarked, bridling Kara. "Believe me, I know. It's what they called me when I first started," Clark said as the two supersped back to Kara's apartment in National City. Naruto sat her on the couch and summoned Alex to examine her. "Thank you for the backup. How did you know to come?" Naruto questioned. "Jimmy set his signal watch and called me when I arrived, which I'm glad I did because Reactron is no joke," Clark explained. "Yeah, he is. Kara is determined to take him down on her own, and I think the constant comparisons to you are getting to her," Naruto answered as Clark glanced at him. "I went through something similar on my planet and know the feeling. My partner has the same powers I do, and I'm the sidekick. It's not fun." "I guess I didn't realize being Superman's cousin had a disadvantage," Clark remarked. "Don't take it personally, Clark. It's just been a bad couple of days for her, and I know she's still happy to be your cousin," Naruto assured him, and Clark grinned when his phone alerted him to an issue in the South Pacific. "It's fine, go. I'll keep an eye on her until Alex arrives." "Thank you, and tell Kara I'm glad she's okay," Clark said as he sped away. Alex arrived soon after and examined Kara. She was harmed, though not seriously. She simply needed time to recover. James arrived as well, worried about her but relieved that she was still alive. When Naruto saw her awake, he used a towel to clean away some of the grime on her face and some injuries. "Whoa, take it easy, Kara," Naruto said as she sat up quickly. "How long was I out?" she inquired, seeing James and Alex come over. "I looked you over and you're fine. You're already healing," Alex assured her. "I was fighting Krull. Where is my cousin?" Kara inquired. Naruto explained, he had to go. Volcanic eruption in the South Pacific. "Don't be concerned, Lord is safe," James added. "I don't understand. How did he even know I was fighting Krull?" Kara said, staring at Alex and Naruto, both of whom were looking at James. "You contacted him." "Kara, he gave me this a long time ago," James said, revealing the beacon that communicated with Superman. "If I ever got in trouble, I could contact him." "But you weren't in any danger. When did you call him in the first place? When did I leave?" she inquired. "I made a promise to your cousin, Kara. If anything ever happened to you, when my cousin initially started, he didn't have a get-out-of-jail-free card." "Neither should I," Kara said, upset that he had to contact her cousin to save him. "It feels like you don't believe in me." "Of course, I believe in you. I wouldn't be here if I didn't," James explained. "Perhaps you shouldn't be here at all," Kara suggested. James rose up and walked to the door. but paused to say one more thing. You know what, Kara? I'm sorry you're mad at me, but I'm not sorry you're still alive, James stated as he walked away. Kara sighed in tiredness, swallowed a sniffle, and stood up to head to the kitchen. Alex explained, he was just trying to protect you. I know, it wasn't supposed to be like this. This is why my mother and father sent me to Earth, Kara explained. Alex told her, they wanted you to live, Kara. No, it's more than that. I was supposed to be the one saving him, not the other way around. How am I supposed to really become a hero if Superman has to keep saving me? Kara said, frustrated that she was failing at the superhero thing. Kara, your story is literally just beginning, and it's yours, not his. Sure, you'll stumble a bit, but the only way this story stops being yours is if you let it, and I know you won't let that happen. Supergirl is going to soar above Superman soon, I know it, and so does Alex, Naruto assured her. Kara let out a small sigh of relief before realizing what she needed to do. Oh, God. I have to be at Kat's party right now. Like 10 minutes ago. I don't have my dress, Kara exclaimed, prompting Alex to walk over to the table and grab a garment bag. Yes, I figured you wouldn't have time, so I borrowed one from the Deo closet. Not that you really need it, but it's bulletproof, Alex explained as Kara smiled. Naruto and Alex left to let Kara to prepare. Reactron is still a problem that Kara will have to deal with, Naruto explained. I know. I'm going to the Deo and see what I can find out, hoping to find something that will help her, Alex responded. Nice, but do you think you have anything in the Deo closet in my size? Naruto questioned, as Alex looked puzzled. I'd like to throw a little party before I go back home. Alex said, I'll see what we have. Kara showered and put on some lipstick before getting dressed and went to the museum for Ms. Grant's launch party. She entered wearing a green Guinevere slip dress by Noam Hanich, meteor ear jacket earrings, a bun in her hair, and a little black clutch purse. She came in and saw that everything with the event appeared to be in order, which was a good sign. She took a deep breath and walked in to see it beautifully decorated, with waitresses dressed as Supergirl and magazine cover photographs displayed throughout the area. Kara adjusted her spectacles and walked in, breathing a sigh of relief that no one thought she looked like Supergirl. Kat noticed Kara enter and approached her to tell her what she thought. Kara introduced herself as Ms. Grant and began to consider what to say. Kat continued, you don't fool me. You're late, which I noticed because there was no one mumbling and shuffling 3 paces behind me. Kara apologized, saying, I'm sorry. Where is the magazine? Kat inquired as Kara stammered. The paper ones? The ones that can be framed? Right, the magazine, Kara responded, unsure what to say when a magazine was placed in front of her and handed to Ms. Grant. Do you mean these? She asked, turning to see Naruto suited up for the occasion in a very smooth black 2-piece fancy suit that made him look really attractive and handsome. As if James Bond were a Japanese-American speedster parked right there. They're set up at various tables around the event, and Kara is just a little foggy because she was up all night autographing magazines with the author's name and a small little blurb about the issue in the event. It's as if I came up with it myself, Kara, Kat replied before turning to face Naruto. I see you cleaned up nicely, but you haven't addressed your whiskers or your unnaturally spiky hair. Kara smothered a laugh, while Naruto simply smirked. Well, I like to think they add to my charm, and with all the people in the world, you need to stand out a little bit, he explained. Indeed, Kara, I don't think I'll need you for the night, so have fun, Kat replied before departing. Naruto shrugged as he watched her walk away. I believe she meant it as a compliment. Oh my god, Naruto, you saved my butt, she said. How did you even know about it or get it done in time? I had Winn send me a list of what Kat needed done for the party, and with everything else going on, I figured I'd lend a hand. Just another day of work, Naruto explained, and she smiled. Still, I owe you my life, and I have no idea how I'm going to repay you, Kara stated as Naruto smirked. Well, you could take care of that right now. Naruto asked, holding out his hand. How about a dance with the prettiest woman in the room? Sure, Kara said, blushing as she took Naruto's hand and led him to the dance floor. Naruto took Kara's hand in his as she rested her hand on his shoulder and he rested his hand on her waist. They danced together, enjoying the night and having a good time. Naruto whirled her around before drawing her close and executing a tiny dip, which caused her to chuckle before bringing her back up. Where did you learn how to dance? I learned a thing or two from movies, and I'm quick on my feet, Naruto quipped, turning her around again. We could show everyone up here if we had some tango music. Please God now, I may be super, but this is the best I can do with dancing, Kara said, leading him to laugh. Do you mind if I cut in? They heard as James approached them. It's fine, Naruto, Kara said, and he nodded. All right, it's time for me to scope out the buffet anyway, Naruto stated as he walked away from Kara and James to dance and hash out their concerns. Unfortunately, the party was cut short as Reactron crashed through the roof and landed in the midst of the museum. This guy doesn't take a break, does he? Naruto thought to himself before ducking somewhere out of sight of cameras and opening up his shirt to expose his costume underneath like Supergirl. Where is Supergirl? Reactron yelled angrily, as all the partygoers backed away in terror. One of the magazine posters caught fire after Reactron fired an energy bolt at it. Kara looked around and realized that with so many people surrounding her, she couldn't do anything Supergirl related for fear of being spotted. People began to hurry to the exits, and Reactron recognized Maxwell Lord and made his way over to kill him when he was thrown into the wall by something from behind. Everyone turned around to see if the mystery blur had arrived. Impulse stared at Kara and began whispering to her, which her enhanced hearing picked up on. I'm going to get him outside, change, and kick his ass, he said quietly, and she nodded. You know, when it comes to supervillains, I've got to say you're very persistent, Impulse said. I'm sorry for what happened to you, but you're going to prison for all of your crimes. I'm sure one day I will. But you won't live to see it, he answered, firing a blast at Impulse, who ducked. He was glad that it hit the wall, but he couldn't fight in here and risk injuring a spectator. You know, Superman was right. You're not that much a challenge, Impulse remarked, seeing how enraged Reactron was. Oh, I know Superman and Supergirl, and if you can't hit me, what hope do you have against them? Reactron leapt through the roof and flew outdoors to murder him as he ran. Reactron swooped through the air and fired from above, but he kept missing. Then Supergirl caught him off guard, and they both fell to the ground. He blew her away and continued to fire his energy blasts, which Kara blocked with her palm. She gritted her teeth in agony, but when Krull drew too close, she pulled out his energy core with the lead she held in her hand. He collapsed to the ground, defeated and unable to activate his suit due to the loss of the energy core. As Naruto supersped next to her, Supergirl sighed a sigh of relief. I told you your story was just getting started, Naruto smiled. Reactron was apprehended by cops and was on his way back to Metropolis. It was no surprise that almost all of his offenses involved him attempting to assassinate Superman and all of the collateral damage he caused, but the National City DA would add to those charges. Kara returned to the Deo base after he was taken, and they watched the news report of Reactron's arrest. Kara grinned with delight and pride at her achievement. She was able to defeat Reactron, which Superman was unable to achieve. Thank you both for your assistance, Supergirl remarked to Alex and director Henshaw. Something tells me this isn't the last non-alien you'll be dealing with, and since the threat of federal prison doesn't deter your sister from disobeying my orders, I guess we'll just have to help Supergirl again in the future, Henshaw said. Glad to know this night ended on a happy note, Naruto said as he approached them with a dish of food from the party. He was dressed in his Impulse suit and was carrying his rucksack on his back. Are you going somewhere? Inquired Henshaw. Well, as much fun as being here has been, and as much as the team of the multiverse's finest has been, it's about time I try to head home, Naruto explained. But there's still so much we haven't done, Kara pointed out. We were supposed to go to that gelato place I told you about. True, and while I love ice cream and hanging out with you, Kara, I've got my own world to get back to. But I shall not leave you empty-handed because of made gifts. Follow me, please. Naruto led them back to the lab he had been working out for the past couple of days. Ta-da. Wow, that's a lot of boxes, Alex said. What is all this stuff? Kara inquired, opening one of them to reveal a slew of goods she had no context to comprehend. My contribution to the Deo to keep your agents and this planet safe. I promised you I'd pay you back for allowing me to stay here and consuming your entire food supply. Sorry about that, Naruto shrugged, making Kara and Alex laugh. However, I believe I have made amends. While I did not construct an arc reactor, I have created enough weapons, gadgets, devices, and blueprints for everything the Deo could possibly require. First and foremost. Naruto removed a form-fitting light vest from his bag and handed it to Alex. What is this? She inquired. That's Star Labs body armor. Thin, form-fitting, able to fit under regular clothes, and capable of stopping and absorbing the impact of high-caliber rounds and impacts. My suit is made of a more advanced version of the same technology, but this stuff is powerful enough to stop the impact of armor-piercing rounds and is tear-resistant. Naruto placed it on a spare mannequin and took out a knife. Observe. He stabbed the armor, but it withstood the blow and did not break. Wow, Kara exclaimed, taken aback by what she saw. Although she was bullet and knife impervious, this material was far more potent than anything else on their world. I've also left some blueprints and data that will allow you to design undercover options. Naruto continued. In Central City, Star Labs has designed a variant of the armor that can be stitched into the layers of clothing. This stuff will help to keep your agents safe. As he examined the armor, Director Henshaw replied, "Thank you. What else did you make?" "Well, I built some ICER guns for you to use for non-lethal options when necessary, and they'll help you prevent civilian casualties," Naruto explained, along with some enhanced explosives, flash bangs, gas grenades, those polyurethane foam pellets in grenade form, as well as some new night vision, thermal, and backscatter vision goggles, as well as some new programs and general upgrades to your entire system. I like to keep myself busy. Henshaw answered, clearly. "I'll bring some new stuff the next time I visit," Naruto assured. "Will there be another time?" Alex inquired. "Sure. Superheroes have to stick together, and I still have to try that gelato place." Naruto stepped over to one of the crates and removed a smaller black box. He opened it to show Kara, Alex, and Director Henshaw what was inside, which was a high-tech black and silver watch. The sole distinction between it and a standard watch was that it lacked a clock face. Instead, the Star Labs badge was replaced with his Impulse lightning bolt symbol. But I've saved the best for last. "What is it?" Kara inquired. "The extra-dimensional communication hardware device," Naruto joked. "I like to call it the ECHOI, added the O at the end to make a snappy name." Alex and Kara laughed. "I was inspired a little by the watch your cousin gave Jimmy. It's a multiversal communications device. If something happens and you need help, just hit that symbol and it'll notify me." "How did you do that?" Henshaw wondered as he took the watch and examined it before passing it to Alex to inspect. "My multidimensional theorem equation," Naruto said, pulling out his phone to display a sophisticated mathematical, scientific physics, engineering equation. "After I ended up on another Earth, I began devising a way to try and communicate between worlds, and after a lot of studying, observing, and calculations we tested, we managed to arrive at the equation, which is transmitting my vitals back to my Earth 2 allies. So, even though we're on a different planet, this thing will send a signal all the way to your planet." Alex inquired. "That doesn't seem to be possible." "Not impossible, just difficult," Naruto said, making Kara laugh. "Let me know if you ever need help or just want to hang out, and thanks again for letting me stay here, it was fun." "Yeah, it was." Alex hugged him, and when they parted, he shook hands with Director Henshaw. "It was a real pleasure." "It was my pleasure, Director Henshaw," Naruto said as he and Kara hugged. "It's been a lot of fun, Kara." "That it has. I'm still a little sad you won't be able to stay longer, but hopefully we'll see each other again," Kara replied. "Well, if there's one thing I've learned doing this job, it's that heroes tend to find their way to one another. Who knows, maybe we'll have another team up soon," Naruto answered as they walked out of the Deo complex and into the desert. "So, before I leave, I thought we could commemorate our friendship with a photo. How about a photo in front of Catco?" "Sure thing." Kara chuckled as the two super sped into town and materialized in an alley, where they changed back into their civilian attire. They were able to get a kind onlooker to photograph them. In front of the Catco building, Naruto and Kara had a one-arm hug with enormous smiles on their faces, precisely like the future photo Gideon showed them. They looked, and it was a wonderful image, virtually identical to the one Gideon had shown them, except they were younger. "I'm getting a weird sense of déjà vu, aren't you?" Naruto remarked, making Kara giggle. "It's been a lot of fun, Naruto. If you ever need help, just let me know and I'll be there to help," she vowed when they returned to Earth. "Likewise, and until we meet again, Kara Danvers, let me give you some advice," Naruto remarked, making Kara laugh. "Love and relationships aren't easy in our lives, but they're definitely worth it. They're what remind us why we're fighting, so don't wait for James to make the first move." Kara rambled. "What? Naruto, there's nothing going on with me and James." But take it from me and don't wait. It won't be easy, but it'll be worth it. If James can't see that, he's an idiot," Naruto assured, kissing her on the cheek one more time. See you soon, Supergirl. Catch you later, Impulse, Kara answered as Naruto winked and supersped away through the metropolis. He put his suit back on while sprinting and raced outside the city limits before racing around in a circle and opening up another breach before racing inside it. He was gone, but Impulse would return to National City. And the irony of his advice to Kara was that it was sound advice that she would follow, but James would not be the man she would apply it to. If Naruto or Kara had paid greater attention to the future photo Gideon showed them, they would have seen some strange details. Like a gear, Kara has a lightning bolt insignia necklace around her neck, Naruto has a little blue teardrop rock necklace around his neck, and Kara has an extraordinarily gorgeous engagement ring and wedding ring on her finger. Suffice it to say, their future would be intriguing. To be continued.
That's it for this part, guys. Thanks for listening to this video. If you did enjoy this part of the story, like, share, and subscribe for more. And thank you all for helping support and have a great day.